Welcome, 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 welcome. We are live. We are live. I am trying not to get out of my chair. I am so damn excited to the first edition of the pregame shows brought to you by Views from the 22, live on the Scene YouTube channel. We are here. We are back. And as you can see, we're here to defend the throne, baby. Watch the Throne Part 2. Might be coming. It might be coming. Listen to Donda. It might be coming. Vic Jr. on the line. And of course, the Godfather, the OG, J Ham on the line. Before we get into this matchup, fellas, talk to the people. How you feeling? Jay, start with you.
I don't even like Hank Williams after I found out he was a Confederate, but he got one of the coldest, catchiest joints ever when it comes to this game. And it's just real simple. Are you ready for some football?
Yes, sir.
And it's a poor invitation to Hank Williams. I gotta go get my Minute Maid so I can clear, get the octaves and everything right. But yo, I'm ready to get this thing cracking, man. You know what I'm saying? To see some people get hit, see some people get penalized, some flags get thrown, some memes thrown out to be trolling. I'm on heel activity already. I'm talking about I ain't even got nothing to troll the Bucks with yet because it's kind of hard to troll the champs on ring night. Just don't lose in that regard.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I'm excited to be here. Shout out to my boy Ranks Jabbing with the have him in the cut. Y'all go check that out. I had to plug him up real quick. Since Mo mentioned Donda, I don't want to hear no Donda or no dudes that cut hearts right here in their head. Man, I bet not doing none of that. Later on that, I'm just gonna swing the rock over to my man Coco behind the back. We can keep this thing going.
Yeah, man, what's going on? I mean, I'm just excited for this season. This is crazy. Like, it's again, I said it yesterday. All the storylines coming from this season, whether it's the rookie quarterback situation, Jameis Winston now quarterback of the New Orleans Saints after so many years of Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger. What are the Steelers gonna do as he continues his little regression? I mean, the storylines are incredible. The Browns, I'm excited about. And then at the end, who's gonna be champion again, man? It's just so fun to see how emotional things can get for certain folks as the season goes on. But starting today should be a great game, fellas. I mean, this should be a fight. This should be a fight. Unfortunately, the Cowboys will be out without Zach Martin, but this should be a legendary fight right now. Start the season off.
Absolutely. We'll get to all that. We'll get to all the pregame stuff. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to take you to about 10, 15 minutes till before kickoff. Obviously, we got to get Germ So True on here at some point for a little bit. We got to get Trav. Hopefully, he can find his way to come on here for a little bit. He is actually at Raymond James Stadium down there in Tampa Bay, which, for the record, that is Central Florida, not South Florida. But we're going to leave that for a later day. Let's start with a couple things here. You got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right, Vic? There's, like you said, there's storylines for all storylines. I thought my microphone got unplugged. There's storylines for days with this one. We know what the Cowboys have been dealing with all offseason. We know what the Bucs have been dealing with dating back to last year. Let's start, and I hate to do this because we should start with the champions, but let's start with Dak Prescott. Okay, because that's really where the most intriguing factor lies in tonight's game. Why? Because we know what Tom Brady's going to do. So let's start with Dak Prescott. He got paid. Finally, long-term contract, a little security, good money, good guarantee. In the end, everything he did paid off for him. Okay, and honestly, we said it after he got injured last year, Vic. It's only right that the Cowboys took care of Dak Prescott. So let's start there. All the Dak drama is off the table now. He's a Cowboy for the foreseeable future. What are you expecting for Dak Prescott in this first year of big money contracts?
I mean, listen, bro, like the questions now with this kid is two things. Will the injury that he went through, that gruesome injury that he went through, will it hamper his the start of the season? Will it hamper the rest of his career? That's one question that I have. And will he continue his progression? Because, I mean, he's exceeded my cap, the cap that I had for him, which was like a B plus player, needed a lot of pieces around him type of player. He's exceeding those expectations for me, too. I think he's ultimately now, like I talked about yesterday, his intangibles are incredible. There's not a player, in the NFL that dislikes this kid. I don't think, he's a very lovable kind of player you want on your football team, a great leader and stuff like that. The locker room, 110% was behind him after his injury, behind him for his contract situation. So, the questions are now, what is his injury situation going to be like? And is he going to continue that progression to that elite level that I think it looks like he can get to now?
There's been progression, but it's also been cautious optimism with Dak because we still see some inconsistencies from him. We still see him reverting back to old habits. We still see that one flaw that we know cannot be taught. And you touched on it, and that's inaccuracy. So all great points. Before I move any further, Jay, anything you want to add on with Dak? What you looking forward to seeing from him or the Cowboys in general with that offense led by Dak?
I think what you just touched on was, like you said, the inconsistencies. That kind of is one of those things that hovers over their whole squad in some retrospect. And that's just kind of their reputation and nature, just for who they are. It's like, on paper, talent's there. It's like you look at the skill positions. They can get down with anybody. They got a coach that's won a Super Bowl, and let's be fair. He won a Super Bowl with more dudes on IR than any other coach in the history of this league. This is why I'm here, historian Ham. I know shit
That's
like
right.
this.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But so it's like you got to be fair, man. You check the man's rap sheet. Mike McCarthy, he can get down. You know what I'm saying? But he's also in that position where we know this, especially as we examine through just pro sports in general. We've seen this happen even on my end on the hoop side. How much control does the coach really have? And so, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And this is any coach. This is going back almost 30 years to Jimmy Johnson. When you speak on it like that. So it's just a lot of inconsistency within there, but you know that the talent is there. So interesting. Let's go, and them coming into this situation, me and Chef, we talked about this. I'm quite sure people saw this on the bottom line on ESPN. If you were watching, I was watching some stuff over there today. Not, I don't know really do their programming, but another story for another time. But the Dallas Cowboys are 3-0 when coming in on the opponent's ring night. Yeah. Historically, they've never lost when they're the opponent. Historically, Tom Brady's never lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
some's got to give.
I think, in my humble opinion, history usually favors the GOAT, but that's just me. Anyway, shout out to everybody who's already in the comment section. 88 Dink 88. Shout out to him. That's my guy right there. Tanya, the first lady in the building. What's up, Tanya? And obviously, my main man, Category 5, Josh Storms is in there. And I see we got some other people in there. Shout out to everybody who's in there. Get comfortable. We're not going to be too long tonight. Remember, Sunday morning is the Sunday Spectacular Show. We don't have a time limit, really. We got a lot to touch on Sunday. We're going to have a lot of things to do, some activities, a lot of energy coming Sunday morning. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are following us. Make sure you got your notifications on so you don't miss any of the shows that we do this season on Views from the 22. As far as he said, don't forget Romo signed what was at the time the largest contract in franchise history. It got him nowhere. Good point there. But, we can't get into what the contracts are because the next Cowboys quarterback is going to sign the biggest contract. And the quarterback after that is going to sign the biggest contract. So we can't really get into that. At the end of the day, you always have to secure that quarterback position. Now, let's get into it real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on this dude because we've talked enough about this dude. But he is 44 years old. He is the GOAT. He is 7 rings deep at the moment. He is coming into a season where it seems that all his weapons are healthier than ever, in better condition than ever. Rumor is Mike Evans looks better than ever, in and out of his cuts better than ever. The rapport with Chris Godwin has built and is strong, and there's a lot of trust there. So maybe this is the year we see Chris Godwin have over 1,200 receptions or whatever it is, something crazy, not 1,200. You know what I mean? It might be the year he has a lot of crazy receptions. moving the chains, and being everything that he was supposed to be in that first year. So, Vic, start with you here. What are you expecting from the Tampa Bay offense in this regular season?
I mean, it's they even said it. Mike Evans even said it in camp. We're light years ahead of what we were at this time last year. So like that's scary to think about, because if both Mike and Chris Godwin were unhealthy for most of the season last season, they had their little injuries. Mike Evans with some lower body injuries, Chris Godwin with his hands and stuff like that. If those guys can stay healthy throughout the season, I mean, the sky is the limit, man. Like it's gonna be incredible. Tom Brady, of course, still got his doubters, still got guys talking about him, still got guys making excuses about his game, and he always has, he always has the benefit of the doubt. He always has, the best weapons available to him. It is what it is, man. I just can't wait for the new excuses after this season, because it's gonna be the same thing.
Jay, anything you want to add to that? Excuses about this dude at this particular stretch. It's like, yo, man, he been around longer than the Houston Texans. As a friend, seriously, he's been kicking the NFL square in their ass longer than the Houston Texans have been around as a franchise.
It's true.
At this point, it's like, okay, when you got to Tampa, you found out that the excuse of, well, it's Belichick's system. My guys right here, my colleagues here, they've been trying to tell y'all that for the last however long we've been doing this. That Belichick don't even coach offense. The hell is y'all talking about?
And then the Belichick system, it's the culture. Okay, I give credit to Belichick for the culture that he brought to the football team, to the way he created leaders throughout that roster.
100%, and Tom Brady was one of those leaders.
Yes, right. So he gets credit for that. He's a
no
great
doubt
NFL coach.
No doubt.
But the offense was always Charlie Weiss first, Tom Brady, and then Tom Brady took over from there. Whoever came in, he helped out. I mean, there's articles talking about Tom putting his own plays into that system.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing his own thing. It's time, y'all just leave it alone already, please.
I mean, you hear stories of Josh McDaniels and Bill O'Brien saying they get phone calls at 2 a.m. from Tom Brady saying we got to change this and we got to change that. It's supposed to go the other way around, Chief. You know what I mean?
How many coordinators has this dude gotten jobs for?
Endless.
Regardless of the situation.
Endless.
You know what I'm saying?
Endless.
Bill O'Brien got uplifted to the heights.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with Tom probably the shortest time, right?
Yeah, probably 3 years.
Who, Charlie?
I ain't heard of Charlie Weiss. I ain't heard of Charlie Weiss since he was at Kansas.
Yeah.
You're at a basketball school, Chief. That ain't gonna happen like that.
Yeah.
Not unless you're in the SEC.
Josh McDaniels had to come back from his Denver tenure.
Josh McDaniels had to come back. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's like, it's really no other. We don't even got to. I don't even want to talk about it.
Nothing to really talk about. Again, the resume speaks for itself. Dog. It doesn't even make sense at this point. That's why we said last week. Stop with the hot takes. Stop with the this and that. Stop putting him 10th or 11th on your NFL players rankings. Stop.
Yeah. If you want to talk about anything,
he's the best player in the NFL.
Talk about that throw that he made at the end of the first half in Green Bay that went for 6 that 43-year-olds ain't supposed to be making.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, let's leave it right there. Moving on now. Go a little spin off here, and then we're gonna come back to this game. And it's I don't think Vic News. No, we're just kind of making this up right now. I want from all three of us right here to pick a team that the media and the fans have set high expectations for, that you think this year may be the year they fall short, or they just Jay laughing because Jay knows where I'm going with it. So Jay, by all means, sir, the floor is yours. The mic is on.
Vic, when I asked you, can I make a guest appearance tonight, what was my reason for making this guest appearance?
This is the exact question you were looking for?
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly the avenue we was going down.
Oh man.
And I'm not really even trying to call it. I just got questions. I ain't even
Right.
trying to be bold.
Right.
Now, if it start off and it get to a certain level, the heel activity will commence. Trust me. The Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here we come. Ooh, wop, wop. Yeah, the whole all that shit. Yo, I just got the question as to how long can a team of that caliber, with that kind of talent, with that type of management in the front office, that type of personnel management, everything that they bring, how long will it be before their team hits the wall? And Chef, you kind of spent off of that when me and you were talking before that we jumped on live, and you took it a step further. And yo, there's no quarterback in the history of this league that has not hit that wall.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come out the block like 15 in the state of Missouri, I ain't even think about where they're geographically located. I'll fix that later. But 15 in the state of Missouri, that kid from Texas, the two-sport athlete that went to Texas Tech and did all that other shit, transferring baseball and all that, he ain't came down yet. Was the first come down and sign of adversity, Super Bowl in Tampa? How long does this window have? Let's talk about it. I mean, there are a lot of wear, tear, attrition, everything comes into play. His first year, he wins MVP. They are a sneeze away from going to the Super Bowl. Mistake, brain fart, mental fart. They win it the next year, but during the run, come back from 10 down every game. You have that portion of it. You go through 2020, you got COVID, all of this other good stuff. They finished the regular season strong. They make it through the playoffs, and then they had to take their trip back to Tampa, which they was doing, they cutting somersaults and all that shit, saying the first half in the first game with Tampa. But then it was a totally different ball game when you get to February. Also with the off the field stuff, I don't really like to bring that in, but they had a horrible tragedy on the weekend of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That can also take its toll on a team as well. And not to say that it will be anybody's fault. It's just one of those things that stacks up and add. I'm looking at Kansas City as like, yo, if I had to make a prediction, I'm picking them to come out the AFC. It's like, why not? I liked them this long, but it's that point of, I'm going to like them to somebody get them, but somebody going to get them real soon. And is this the year? That's my question.
I mean, look, again, Jay, at some point, each quarterback is going to hit that wall. And at some point, just a stretch of dominance in the NFL is rare. Okay, like
That's
New England is the exception, not the rule.
Right,
what they did over their course of 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And although Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are probably the second best or third best or fourth best, depending on how far you want to go down the line, quarterback coach duo that we've seen over the last 10 to 20 years. There's no denying that. But it takes more than that. It takes, like you said, it takes a particular culture. It takes a particular discipline. Most importantly, it takes somebody who can beat you from the most protected area for the quarterback. And Mahomes has still got to improve on that. He's still got to take that next level. Look at the Super Bowl. What did Tampa Bay do? They wanted him to go backwards. They wanted him to go outside. They wanted those feet to keep moving because he's not equipped to slide and glide and find pockets within the pocket. So, Vic, you want to touch on that as to why possibly we may see Mahomes hit a wall this year or the next, or maybe he's already slowly approaching that wall.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is a very tough one, topic because the talent is incredible, as you can see, not only from him, but he's got hands down the fastest receiver that's probably ever played. Okay, and one of the most pure route running tight ends you will ever see on a football field. And those two factors alone, and that's why I try to calm down a little bit with the whole baby goat talk that we hear a lot from the media and the fans and stuff like that, because there is going to be a scenario when those two guys are not going to be available anymore. When that's going to happen, who knows? Tyreek is not going to run as fast as he used to. Kelsey is already 32 years old. How much more does he have left? Is he going to be a 38-year-old tight end? Maybe, but we'll see what that. The interesting thing is now they have a much better offensive line. So now he has a pocket to work with, if possible. If these guys play to their capabilities, he will have a pocket. He will have no reason to escape the pocket now. Can he throw from within that pocket? Can he make those sideline throws with some accuracy, with some consistency? That's what's going to be interesting for me. The other factor is, we talked about it yesterday on the show, the whole division is improving. Even the Las Vegas Raiders, their secondary and their defense is improving. Will they start to catch up? Because there was some games last year, especially to the Chargers when they were healthy defensively, that they gave Pat some issues. So Pat, again, struggles within the pocket for the most part. Okay, still a top 5 quarterback in that aspect of the game, which is crazy to know. But will he take that level where not only out of the pocket, but within the pocket, can he dominate like a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and those guys did during their career?
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's a question that remains to be seen. We'll see what he does. We certainly enjoy him. We're certainly fans of Pat Mahomes. But again, our job here, Views 2022, if you haven't seen the logo, lab breeds objectivity. The one thing that ain't never lied is that eye in the sky. Okay, so we'll see what he does. We'll see if he can get over it. We'll see what happens when he approaches, as J Ham coined, the mud. Until you can show that you can win on a professional level in the mud, it's hard to really, latch on to think that greatness is just going to happen. It's just not. It doesn't work that way.
And I'm glad you mentioned the mud, especially in regards to pocket passes, because it took me back 15 years ago. The very first playoff game for the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, the second one, because they beat the hell out of Kansas City in the first one. They got Bob Sanders back and all that, but they went to Baltimore and they won like 15-3 or something like that. No touchdowns, straight field goal action. And this is with 18. This is one of the all-time greats in the pocket. But for 18 to get to that podium in that February game, he had to get that one done in the mud, and he had to get it done in Baltimore with 52 on the other side and the other goons that they had around there at that time. And I think Baltimore was the 1 seed that year, if I'm not mistaken.
That was 03, right?
No, it was 06. It was 06.
Oh, that was 06. Yeah, they might have been the 1 seed. You're right. They might have been the 1 seed.
1 seed that year.
Yeah.
So, but it was just that progression. It was like, okay, Pat already got one, but for Peyton to get one, that, like you said, when you got to get it done in the mud, and when you brought mud up, that's what it took me back to, that divisional round game in Baltimore for Peyton. Yeah. Especially with pocket passing like that. And Tommy he been winning in the mud, period. Such as like the Tuck Rule game that was in the snow mud, right?
Yes, it was. It sure was. Don't blame the player, blame the rule.
My bad, April. My bad, Vic.
They know my bad. They know what happened. It was an incomplete pass. Don't apologize for that denial. Heel activity, baby. All right, man. I don't know what's going on with Jerm or Trav, but the goal is to get you guys out of here 20 minutes before kickoff. Get everybody time. I still got to order my pizza and my wings and my breadsticks. It's my little brother's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Yassine. We're going to have a good time tonight. So I still got to make the order and put up the thread on the Views from the 22 Facebook group. If you're not there, go to Facebook, go to that search bar, type in Views from the 22, and we will pop up. Once you're there, it's going to say other groups you might be interested in. It's going to say 94 Feet of Life. It's going to say The Dish. It's going to say Stoppage Time FC. Join. Make sure you following us. Make sure you're kicking it with us. Man. Absolutely. The Scene umbrella, we here, and we here to stay. The new 4-letter network. Let's get to the game, fellas, tonight. Believe it or not, the over-under is 52.5. The BUCS, 9 points. They giving Dallas 9 points. That feels a little disrespectful to Tampa Bay, to Dallas rather. But hey, crazier things have happened, as we talked about. Tom Brady is 5-1 on ring night. Tom Brady has never lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Also, I'm gonna just put this out there, man. This offense, I fully expect this offense to come out straight firing. So, Vic, let's get to you. Give me the keys to the game and what you're looking at for this one.
Yeah, I mean, for Tampa Bay specifically, again, can they get the passing game going quickly? Again, sometimes, historically, Brady and his guys will start slow and stuff like that. I want to see if they get a good, efficient passing game, short game, and intermediate before they go deep. The Dallas secondary is probably the weakness of this defense right now. Still a very young defense or a very young secondary, so they can kind of exploit that. And then for the Cowboys offensively, I think they got to run the ball. They have to establish Ezekiel Elliott. The speed in that front seven is incredible. Joe Tyron that we spoke about, their first round pick, an incredible athlete. Of course, you got Devin White, and you got the other linebacker that's escaping my name,
Levante David.
Levante David. That front seven, with those two guys leading the way is incredible. So they have to establish the run game so that Dak has some space and some time to pass the ball and stuff like that to get to CD Lamb and those guys.
Jay, what's the biggest thing you're looking for tonight?
Man, quarterback for Dallas.
Yeah, I'm with you because it's not fair, and we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but this is an important game. It's week one, yes, but it's not like last year where there was no preseason. We've had a preseason, we've had a long off season. This is a very important game for both these teams. But honestly, it's more important for Dallas. Like for Tampa, we hosting the party. We're going to eat cake regardless of what happens tonight. And we know we're going to be all right down the road. But for Dallas, this is a measuring stick. How much have we improved over the offseason? How strong are we as a team? What's our chemistry like? What's our communication like? How much do we trust each other? All that stuff, when you play the Super Bowl champs, it gets put to the test early. And for Dallas, with all the drama and all the questions, and Dak and Zeke, is he healthy? And Jalen Smith, can he play? And a all three down linebacker, is he even going to be the starting linebacker? As Vic talked about, this pass rush, can it become what it needs to become? This defense, this secondary. I mean, there's so many things for Dallas. Don't forget about that offensive line. How are they going to look? This without Zach Martin tonight, like Vic talked about. There's so many things for Dallas, and this game is quite important for me. And I'm just going to be honest with you. What I'm looking for, what is Dallas going to come out with in terms of their tempo, in terms of their pace on offense? Are they going to try to do all these fancy things, or are they going to stick to who they are and try to control the clock? Now, try to control the tempo. Now, at some point, you may have to abandon that because Tom Brady's putting up points. But at least for Dallas, if they can come out and establish that offensive line they have faith in, that Ezekiel Elliott is fully ready to go, that Dak Prescott has full command, that's what I'm looking at, like Jay talked about. It's all about Dallas's offense for me tonight. Because for Tampa, again, maybe I'm trying to temper my expectations here because y'all don't realize how excited I am to watch this Tampa team. This is a complete football team. And if they build on where they finished, they're going to listen, man, 15 games is not out of the question. It's just not. 15 wins is just not out of the question with this football team. Not this year. That's just the reality for me. Jordan Whitehead, the safety, is the only player out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about with Dallas, Zach Martin, he's out with the COVID protocol. 5 more minutes left before we jump off this live. Vic, is there one particular matchup, and whether trenches or secondary wide receiver, that you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if the Cowboys are able to establish Zeke, get that running game going, kind of get those linebackers leaning forward and stuff like that, my matchup I'm looking forward to CD Lamb against Sean Murphy Bunting in the slot.
in the slot.
That should be a fun matchup. He will get some outside plays as well at the X or the Z, but in the slot, CD Lamb against Murphy Bunting, that's something that the Cowboys should be able to exploit, especially if they're able to establish the run. If they can't establish the run, you're going to see Devin White kind of leaning over there a little bit, kind of shadowing that area and giving CD Lamb a little bit of a double coverage, bracket coverage and stuff like that. But again, if the Cowboys can establish Zeke and Tony Pollard as well, some speed, CD Lamb should be able to have a good game as well.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think it's important that you touched on Sean Murphy Bunting versus CD Lamb. Don't forget you're going to have Carlton Davis versus Amari Cooper. And I think just looking at it, just from knowing Todd Bowles, I do believe he's going to come out in this week and try to play dominantly a man coverage defense. He does like to mix it up. He does like to bring pressure, but I think in week 1, he's going to want to test his corners. He don't want to test the receivers. He could care less about the Cowboys receivers. He wants to test his corners early to see if they can hold up. Because again, for Tampa, this game don't really matter. They're going to party. They're going to drink. They're going to have a good time regardless of what happens tonight. God willing, all players come out healthy, as we wish that every game for every player, every week, every year. Jay, any particular one unit, one matchup, anything isolated that you're looking at?
Man, the void of Zach Martin, man, that's an all-pro guard right there. You know what I'm saying? He's been rocking strong since he entered the league, and I anytime I, watch Dallas, I usually look at his matchup in general, just because that's where they get the popping going, getting Zeke rolling like that. So just them not being there, then I know how Tampa like to eat up the middle. Yeah. This thing might get ugly, man. Give me Tampa at home, man, by like 17. Pick the numbers however you want. But it's football. Hey, I don't profess to be an expert. I'm a student. I just have fun and make memes and troll and do history, So, but historically, I'm a roll with Tommy.
Yes, sir.
In terms of his history and on these particular nights and against this particular organization, 1 of 4 that he's unbeaten against. I don't know the other 3. Big fan though.
I'll give my prediction before you go ahead, Mo.
No, go ahead.
I think it'll be a tight game though. I don't think it'll be that big. I just think that even though it is a preseason, I think both teams will still try to get some consistency in terms of a rhythm on the football field. So I think it'll be a tighter game, and I don't think it'll be lower scoring. I think 27-24 Tampa Bay over the Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I am looking to see Tampa Bay come out firing. I am looking to see Tampa Bay taking advantage of matchups that I think they should be able to exploit and hopefully come out with that just what they were supposed to be last year. I hate to go back to that because they actually won the Super Bowl, but they won the Super Bowl as an unfinished product. And that doesn't happen. It rarely happens. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think for the Cowboys, again, the key is going to be they got to control the pace. They got to play their game. If they get into a game where they got to try and keep up with Tom Brady, and I don't even mean just points, I just mean tempo, it's going to be a problem. They're going to get out of rhythm. They're going to get out of character. Dak's going to make a mistake. Zeke might fumble. This offensive line is going to have a hard time with communication. Again, trying to temper my expectations here, but I'm going with Tampa. I'm taking the over. I'm taking Tampa to cover. Give me Tampa Bay 33-20 to come off and start the season 1-0. Mm-hmm. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, this is the first show of the regular season. As you can tell, we are still a little rusty because it's been a while. But once we get into like September, October, which I don't really want to talk about any sort of anything, Jay knows this. Don't come to me with who you think is the best team in football before that clock hits October. Because if you come to me with that BS, I'm going to put you on mute. Even if we in real life, I'm going to just go, hush. I don't want to hear.
You're going to have folks with updated power rankings by Saturday morning.
It's the dumbest thing, yo. After the first quarter, updated power rankings. Get the hell out of here. Again, the theme of 2021, Stop with the hot takes. Enjoy these games. Enjoy sports. It's the most unscripted and realest thing on TV. It's the best reality show on TV. Enjoy them. Sunday morning, we will see y'all right here. Germ will be here. It's going to be the Views crew, Views and Views, week 1. You might get Ronnie, might get MJ. J Ham might pop in from the kitchen. You just never know who's going to show up on week 1 of Views and Views. Make sure you following us on Instagram, scene_the, on Twitter, the.scene. Well, I got that backwards. On Twitter, scene_the, on Instagram, the.scene. Again, we're not in midseason form, baby. Don't put me in no power rankings. I'm still getting warmed up.
Yo,
we will catch y'all Sunday. J Ham, go ahead, Vic.
Don't rule out Trav still going live after this game.
Yes.
Look out for that.
Yes.
He actually already went live, but we were
did
just rolling, so I didn't stop and watch it, but I'm going to go check him out in just a minute.
Bad. Me too. Again, we love y'all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I see the comments. The comments have really picked up. Oh, Jerry, the truth is I forgot my actual authentic jersey in the locker at work so that all the drivers can be reminded of the greatness we pursue every day. But I also started last year wearing this jersey. So I ain't saying, but I'm saying I had to rock this jersey tonight because this is only the second time, I kid you not, that I've worn this jersey. So be it, baby. It went pretty well last year. Hopefully it does the same this year. But I don't believe in superstition.
Jerry.
Yeah, I don't believe in reverse psychology, Jay.
Tater Skin Jerry, I gotta mess with him, man.
All right, man. Like I said, we love y'all. Catch y'all in the thread that's going up in the next 10 minutes. Views from the 22 Facebook group, and we will see y'all on Sunday. Views from the 22.
Sir.
We out, baby.